I don't know any of these people personally, but just a lot of these speeches, they come off as performative. Like, this doesn't look like a woman who lost her husband 10 days ago. Okay, so we're going to start with watching Erica's speech. So we're going to listen to some of Kirk's memorial speech for Charlie. So let's go.
But there was something else too. Even in death, I could see the man that I love.
Let me go a little earlier.
"11 days ago, God accepted that total surrender from my husband and then called him to his side. More than anything, Charlie wanted to do not his will, but God's will. And over these past 11 days, through all the pain, never before have I found as much comfort."
Okay, so the individual, thank you for signing up for our memberships. At some point, we might do members-only shows. We're not doing that right now, but feel free to sign up if you want.
"As I now do in the words of our Lord's Prayer, thy will be done." God's love was revealed to me on the very day my husband was murdered. On the afternoon of September 10th, I arrived at a Utah hospital to do the unthinkable, to look directly at my husband's murdered body. I saw the wound that ended his life. I felt everything you would expect to feel. I felt shock. I felt horror and a level of heartache that I didn't even know existed. But there was something else too. Even in death, I could see the man that I love. I saw the one single gray hair on the side of his head, which I never told him about. Now he knows. Sorry, baby, telling you now, but never told him. Didn't want to. I also saw this. I also saw on his lips the faintest smile. And that told me something important. It revealed to me a great mercy from God in this tragedy. When I saw that, it told me Charlie didn't suffer. Even the doctor told me. It was something so instant that even if Charlie had been shot in the operating room itself.
So I just have a couple observations. Now, these observations, I am not excited that I'm going to be the one to point these out. I'm really not. I kind of feel like a bad maybe I shouldn't be, right? I mean, who am I? But this is a conversation happening on the internet, and I think it's going through a lot of people's minds. That it's almost like they're turning this death into it just doesn't it doesn't seem like the attention is respectful in a way when it's like stadiums full of people. And I'm gonna verbalize this a little bit better. Hold on.
Nothing could have been done.
Yeah, it almost, someone put it in the chat. It's like men, whenever I'm blanking, they just give me the answer. It almost seems like nobody cared about it. And I know maybe there's a side of YouTube that's saying everyone's showing they care. They're showing up, they're filling stadiums. But it's just kind of an odd way to go about it. It's almost like it didn't even happen. As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code. When nobody seems like, and people grieve in different ways, so I don't know. I don't know any of these people personally, but just a lot of these speeches, they come off as performative. Like, this doesn't look like a woman who lost her husband 10 days ago, I think would be the best way to put it. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only crazy person for having this opinion. That's very possible. It could, and I don't have any hatred in my heart towards her, but it's just when I was listening to this speech, it just didn't really seem like the focus of the speech was Charlie. And when I'm really looking at this movement, it almost seems like Erica has been put in the front of the conservative movement now. It almost seems like she's kind of the new god of conservative. Like, this almost seems like an Erica worship fest in a way, the way people are reacting on Twitter. And I say this with no malice in my heart, right? I really don't. But I think when you acknowledge gender, like the differences in the genders and what each gender has proclivities to, you could see issues when you're putting a woman in front. You know, as we've said on this channel, women really aren't meant to lead movements. We're not really meant to be in charge of things. We don't do well with it. In general, not all. And so I just wonder if people are really looking out for Erica's best interest. It almost seems like, you know, is this really the best position to put a grieving widow in who lost her husband 10 days ago in like a Super Bowl stadium? Maybe it is, right? Maybe I'm just full of it. I don't know. But I think that's where a lot of people's minds are going towards. I think that's what a lot of people are thinking. And I'm going to be the one to say it because I'm really just trying to have the conversation here.
No fame. There's no fear.
Yeah, what did the widows of JFK, RFK, and MLK do? They kind of faded into the background. He's right. And this has almost become like an Erica worship fest. And it doesn't really surprise me, I guess, knowing her background. She always came off to me as an attention-seeking woman. Like, she always wanted to be in the spotlight. Now, look, who am I to say that, right? I have a show. You know, this isn't meant to be judgmental. But if I'm observing, this is a widow that's got 2 young kids at home. Are conservatives really looking at her and her family's best interests by saying, here's a $300 bajillion organization that you're the CEO of? Is it really in her best interest that, to have this like scripted perform? It just doesn't seem real to me. Now again, maybe this is what he would have wanted. I don't know.
No agony. One moment, Charlie was doing what he loved, arguing and debating on campus, fighting for the gospel and truth in front of a big crowd. And then he blinked. He blinked and saw his Savior in paradise. And all the heavenly mysteries were revealed to him. God's love continued to be revealed to me in the days that followed. The next day on the tarmac in Air Force Two, I confronted Usha Vance, precious woman. I held her hand and I told her, honestly, I do not know how I am going to get through this.
Pearl, do you think she's faking it? Well, if I'm being honest, it really comes off that way. I hate that I'm having that thought. I almost feel guilty for having that thought, because it seems like it's almost immoral to think that, of a grieving widow. But I just wonder, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of, drawing all this attention to a grieving widow? It doesn't seem like his best friends were doing that, because it just seems like we'd want the attention on the husband. I don't like that I'm thinking of it like this, but if I'm really being honest, that's how it comes across to me. And I want to, and I had some notes here, I want to reiterate what the issue you get when you put women as the heads of a lot of these movements. The challenge you get a lot, and you're kind of gonna see this in this speech, is that women, we have a tendency to misquote the Bible. We have a tendency to just get things wrong. And Christian women have a tendency to get power and just turn it into a nagging session on men. And even in this speech, which you would think would be like an inveterance to Charlie, that it would just be, it would only, I would think it would just be positive things about Charlie. It even turns into nagging men. And I hate that I have to be the one. I don't like that I'm saying this. It feels in poor taste. Maybe I'm wrong for it, but I just got to be honest where that's how it comes across. It came across as victim here. I would put her in charge. Left will have a hard time making fun of a widow. A strong, independent woman, mother. Even Tyler Robinson would think twice. Major plot armor around her. I don't think it'll turn out well. I don't. You could say, because this is the political arena, okay? Are you really looking out for her best interests? And let's say we want Erica we want those kids to be raised well. Are we really looking out in her best interest by putting her in charge of a giant organization so that we can't be made fun of as hard?